I think it's natural as people moving towards, wholeness and integration and understanding. I think it's natural for a lot of us to look back on the past and to perhaps not be generous with ourselves and the people that were around us at the time. And what I'm saying is that it's not that you were ungenerous in the moment in the past, is that you're ungenerous with yourself today. Is that you're not giving yourself patience today. You're not giving yourself grace today. You're not giving yourself peace today. You're giving yourself judgment and condemnation, and you're giving yourself undue weight based on something that happened in your past. And you're saying, well, yeah, but Jonathan, I screwed up, or they screwed up, or he screwed up, or the system screwed up. And you know what? That's probably the case. I'm not even going to fight you on that one. They probably did screw up. You probably screwed up. I screw up all the time. But you learned from it. Like, before we go any further, you've got to say, why did things happen in my past so you can learn from them today? You learned from them. Bad things happened yesterday. I'm learning from them today so I can take better decisions tomorrow. I can make better decisions tomorrow. I can take that knowledge and live forward into tomorrow with a better understanding of myself and a better understanding of the world I live in. You learn from it. Some mistakes cost a lot more than others. Some of them are simply walking by and you spill the food on the floor. Yeah, it's probably inconvenient at best. Got to get a rag, got to get some towels, get a garbage can, pull over the garbage can, pull over the paper towels, and get to wiping. It's straightforward. Other mistakes cost a lot more. They make an impact in your finances, they make an impact to your family, they make an impact to your health. You're still meant to learn something from those. You have to believe that all of your situations are meant to show you something. You absolutely have to believe that. Because otherwise, it's just pain for the sake of pain. And that doesn't sound good to me. What sounds good to me is looking back on the things that I was able to survive and grow from. And I can take those newfound portions of myself, or I can take the new knowledge of myself and move into tomorrow with that. That sounds good to me. So we've got to be generous with ourselves. We've got to be generous with the people in our past, and we've got to just be patient with ourselves and our past. Your past is not going to define you. I don't care how shitty your life looks right now. I promise you, you can decide that you want a better tomorrow. And you can find incremental ways to get a better tomorrow. That's worth it. It really doesn't matter how catastrophic the lesson was. It doesn't really matter how horrible the trauma was. It's meant to show you something about yourself. And if you can take that, if you can take that framework, I'm not saying you're not going to get pissed off. I'm not saying you're not going to raise your voice. I'm not saying you're not going to be shouting and screaming. Those are all good things to do in the moment. I mean, given the context. But what I'm saying is that once you calm down, once you dust yourself off, once you've removed yourself from that situation, you can go back and say, I was meant to learn something. And I'm going to say this, and this is something I probably never thought I'd say a day in my life, is some of the most important lessons you just have to learn by doing and failing. You're not going to be able to pick it up from a book. You're not going to be able to pick it up from your therapist. You're not going to be able to pick it up from your parents. You're not going to be able to pick it up from your best friends. Those people can give you perspective. Those people can help you process what happened, but you still got to go through it. You absolutely have to go through it. And I'm not saying that you need to go hold up a liquor store to learn from that experience. That's not what I'm saying. If you can avoid certain things, it's probably best to avoid certain things. But certain growth spikes only happen when you're going through it. Some of the worst shit in my life that I hated every single moment of while I was doing it, I can look back on it now. And I can say, you know what? I was actually developing some good skills. Or I was going through a lot of really good trial and error. I was going through some really good process of elimination. I didn't see it like that at the time. Okay? I didn't see it like that at the time. I was pissing and screaming the entire way there. But now that I'm finally removed from it, and now that I'm moving closer towards my wholeness and my completeness, now I can look back at it and say, yeah, it sucked, but I had a lot of catching up to do. So you got to be patient with yourself. You got to be patient with your experiences. It's not fair to you to sell yourself short and say, I shouldn't have had to go through that. Or you're saying, well, I should have handled it differently. Perhaps you could have handled it differently, but what matters is what you're going to do now. And that's taking yesterday's lessons and applying them to tomorrow's decisions. So what I'm getting at is a lot of the things that I really despised, the fact that I had to go through. And I despised everyone in my life because I felt like they were somehow playing into it. I had to go through all those situations to learn about myself, to become a complete whole person. A lot of the worst habits that we have as human beings can only be outgrown. It's not a matter of just simply making a decision to live a better life, is you've got to develop those habits. And that's only going to happen through repetition. And I know myself, and I know how I think about things, and I know how I view things. To say that the best habits I get, they only come through repetition, and they come through a lot of trial and error. And that's the way I learn. That's how I manage myself. I hope you can figure out how you learn and how you can manage yourself. But you got to be patient. You got to give yourself some grace. You got to give yourself some slack. You got to give yourself some decency to say, the guy that was going through it, he was in the middle of it. Thankfully, that guy made it through it, because I'm here today. I'm that guy. And now I need to give him some slack. I need to give him some credit. But you got to be patient. It's like I said, it's the most important things in life. You're only going to outgrow them, and you've got to go through them to outgrow them. You've just got to go through it. And if you're like me, there were probably some aspects of your life that were probably, they had a delayed start. There was a lot of aspects of my life that had a delayed start. We'll pick that up in the next one.